I didn't argue when she said it. You're banned from Thanksgiving until you apologize. It wasn't even what she said that stayed with me. It was the room afterward. My aunt pretending to rearrange the napkins, my brother staring at his phone, my mom standing in the doorway like she just laid down a law that had always been hers to enforce. Apologize for what? Exactly. For saying I wouldn't cover the new pay show furniture, for asking when the phone plan would finally move out of my name. I opened my mouth, then closed it. Okay, I said. Not defiant, not wounded, just done talking. That night I lay in bed and replayed it. The word banned kept sounding theatrical in my head, like I was 12 and grounded from dessert. But I'm 34. I manage a department of 20 people. I own my condo. I file taxes for 2 states. And yet somehow in that kitchen I was still the child. The thing is, I've always been the responsible one. When Dad's hours were cut years ago, I put the utilities in my name temporarily. When my brother wrecked his credit in college, I added him as an authorized user to help him rebuild. When Mom wanted to consolidate subscriptions and bills, I set up AUTOPAY from my account because it was simpler. It was always simpler. No one ever formally asked. It just slid toward me. And I let it. The next morning I made coffee, sat at my dining table, opened my laptop. I didn't feel angry. That surprised me. I felt organized. First, the credit card portal, I removed authorized users. The system asked if I was sure. I clicked yes. Then the phone plan. I separated my line. The others would have 30 days to transfer or choose a new provider. Streaming services, insurance add-ons, the small invisible cords that had quietly tethered me to that house. I didn't text anyone. I didn't announce it. If I was Ben, then I wasn't needed. By noon, the first notification hit my phone. Payment decline. I kept working. At 20:17 p.m., my brother called. I let it ring. At $20.19, Mom called. By 30 OJID, there were 9 missed calls. The family group chat lit up. Is anyone else having issues with the card? Why is the grocery store saying declined? Did the bank freeze something? I muted the thread. Around 4:30, an unfamiliar number rang. I answered that one. Hi, this is fraud prevention from the bank. We're confirming recent changes to your account, removal of authorized users, and credit limit access. Yes, I said. Those changes are correct. Understood. We also need to inform you that attempts were made to increase the credit limit after removal. They were denied. I almost smiled, but not out of spite, out of clarity. Thank you, I said. That was the moment control shifted. Not when I clicked cancel, not when the call started, when the bank documented it, when the system recognized me as the sole account holder, paper trail, authority, no debate. By evening, there were 27 missed calls. Mom finally left a voicemail. Her voice wasn't loud anymore. Why didn't you tell me you were canceling things? I listened to it twice before calling back. She picked up immediately. I assumed I wasn't needed. I said, "Silence! That's not what this is about," she replied. Then, "What is it about?" Another pause. I could hear her breathing. The television murmuring in the background. "You embarrassed me," she said finally. In front of everyone. I let that sit between us. "I wasn't trying to embarrass you," I said. "I was trying to set a boundary. You could have talked to me." "I tried. You banned me instead." She exhaled sharply. Not quite a sigh. Not quite frustration. "Well," she said, "softer now. What are we supposed to do?" It was the first time in years she'd asked that. Not told. Asked. A family meeting was scheduled for Sunday. No dramatic summons. Just a text, "We need to sort out arrangements." When I walked into the house, it felt different. The air wasn't warm and chaotic. It was careful. Chairs were pulled around the dining table. My brother avoided eye contact. My aunt wasn't there this time. Mom gestured for me to sit. So she began folding her hands. What would it take to restore things? Restore things, like I disrupted the natural order. I pulled a folder from my bag. I hadn't planned on theatrics, but I also wasn't improvising anymore. "I'm not restoring the accounts," I said calmly, "but I am willing to help with structure." I slid a printed sheet across the table. A simple breakdown, what I had been covering monthly. what each person's portion would look like independently, options for transferring plans, a 3-month transition period if needed. No emotion in it, just numbers. My brother scanned it, then looked at me differently. Not grateful, not angry, just recalibrating. Mom didn't touch the paper at first. You make this sound like a business contract, she said. Kind of is, I replied. When money's involved. She flinched at that, but she picked it up. The conversation wasn't explosive. It was awkward, practical, occasionally tense. At one point she said, family shouldn't nickel and dime each other. I agree. I said, family also shouldn't assume. That one landed. No one stormed out. No one cried. We just talked until there was nothing left to circle. Thanksgiving came anyway. No one mentioned the band. I showed up with a pie I bought, not paid for by a shared card. I set it on the counter and washed my hands like any other guest. Dinner was quieter than usual. Careful jokes. Polite passing of dishes. The turkey was slightly overcooked. At one point, Mom caught my eye from across the table. Not apologetic, not triumphant, just aware. No one asked me to cover the wine. No one handed me a receipt. It wasn't warm, exactly, but it wasn't hostile either. Something had shifted, not dramatically, not romantically, just structurally. I don't know if she fully understands why I did it. I'm not sure my brother does either, but the calls stopped. And for the first time in years, when I left that house, I didn't feel like I was carrying it with me.